Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our live. So today, it's myself here, Jordanis Fotakakis, and my colleague Sidra Mahmoud that will represent you some information about your visa procedure as well as the documents you're gonna need for your visa application. So at the very end, there will be a Q&A section where you're free to ask any questions or queries that you have. So to start with, we will start ladies first, like always. So Sidra, can you explain
Uh,
us about the documents you're
Thank
gonna
you,
need?
Danis. Thank you. Hello, everyone from my side as well. My name is Sidra Mahmood. I'm the part of admission and compliance team at Study Now. So today we will be going through the pre and post student visa processing stages. So be with us. We will be guiding you throughout the process. So let's wait for the more attendees for a while.
Yes, please. You can start the slide, Sidra.
Okay, so let's start with the first section, which is our documents requirements. You guys need these documents to file your visa application. So the list is firstly, you would need a passport, which is your nationality evidence. Obviously, we will be explaining all the documents which you need one by one. So the second one is CAS, confirmation of acceptance for studies, and the third one comes the academic documents, then proof of funds and your TB test result. After that, there is attached certificate if needed, and the parental consent form if you are under 18 or you are using your parents' bank statement. So moving forward, we are first explain the CAS, which is confirmation of acceptance of studies. This letter is a sponsorship letter being provided by your university in which you are going to take your admission. And they provide you this document which officially presents that what is you have already provided to the university for your studies abroad. So it comprises of your details, your passport details, your name, your date of birth, your academic documents, and it also includes what you have already provided to the university. Moving forward to the passport check, which that means this is your nationality evidence you have provided to the university, which mentions your nationality, your date of birth, your credentials, and you must remember that your passport must be valid at least 6 months when you are applying or using this passport to apply your visa. So the validity, or you can say that the expiry date mentioned on your passport should be more than 6 months at least. And secondly, you need to check that the details mentioned on your passport is just as like your CAS, because your CAS letter details are taken from your passport, your spellings of your name, your date of birth, year, and your place of birth. So moving forward, if there should be a one page at least blank on your passport, so that on which you are going to get your visa vignette, and all details must be relevant or similar to the CAS letter. Moving forward, we are having a screenshot, you can say that, of a CAS letter. This is, you can, if you can see clearly, it will be mentioned here academic evidences which you have given to the university. It's quite short written here, but let me tell you, for example, if you have completed your degree, so from University of Lagos, for example, so and you have completed in 2004, 2024, so it should be mentioned there in your CAS letter that this document is being provided by you along with your transcript plus your English evidence, for example, WAC or NICO, which you have provided to the university to go to your English exemption. So it should be mentioned on your CAS letter. And this CAS letter would be a sponsorship, as I have told it to you guys before. So your documents and your CAS letter should have a similar information. Moving forward, we are having a TB test. TB test is medical report you need to provide to the university to issue a cash letter. Some universities, obviously every university want this, but some countries do not need to provide. If student is coming from a different country, for example, and they do not need to provide a TB test report, then you do not need to provide this to the university. And the first most important thing, it should be valid when you are applying for your visa. So the validity on the TB test is about 6 months. So if your TB test is going to expire when you are applying for visa application, so you need to attempt this again. Then comes a stage of work history. If you guys are having a gap more than 6 months, for example, you have completed your degree in January 2024, until now you are applying your visa in September 2025, then you need to provide your work history, what you've been doing right after completing your studies. So you need to cover your gap by providing the employment reference letters, and where you are doing your job, you need to provide your employment offer letter, you can say a contract from your last job. So if you are having a gap less than 6 months, then you do not need to worry about, or you can just straight away go to file your visa without providing any further reference. So be assured that your references shouldn't be fake, it shouldn't not be prepared by your own self, it should be legitimate and verifiable. Lastly, we are having a money proof. So your evidence, financial evidences, you need to have your fee and living expenses in your personal account, either in your personal bank account or in your parents' account. It could be from in your mother's bank or in your father. So it should be comprises of your remaining fee and the living expenses. Or for example, if you are applying your university in London, then you need to show 13,1347 pounds plus remaining fee. For example, if your university fee is 12,000 and you have already paid a 5,000 to the university, then remaining 7,000 plus 13,3047 you need to be have in your bank account. And the same likewise if you are applying outside London. So the outside London having a different living expense cost which you need to show in your bank account is likewise as you are showing for your London. So outside London you are need to show 10,000 2024 in your bank account along with your remaining fee. So, if the another thing, if you are using your parental bank statement, then you need to provide your birth certificate and a consent letter from your parents that you are going to use his or her bank statement for you to meet your financial expenses, which is being required by the UKVI. Moving forward, I'm going towards to Ordanis, who will be taking care to the next visa application steps. He will be explaining you.
So yes, we will. I will explain about the process. Sindra, I will explain about the
Yeah,
procedure of the visa.
yeah.
So
Sorry.
no worries, it happens. This. So just few things to make it easy for you guys. So first thing first, you complete your online visa application. So you send us some details, and we do it on your behalf. Then after we finalize with the visa application, we need to pay the visa fees. Now, the visa fees is £524, but you always pay in dollars. So make sure that the amount in dollars might differ, okay, according to the exchange rate on the date. In addition to that, after you complete the payment of the visa fees, you have to complete the IHS, is the Immigration Health Surcharge, and this costs 776 per year. However, you will never receive just 1 year visa. Like your course might be 1 year, okay, as a master degree, but you will always receive like 1 year and a half at least on your visa. So 1 year and 6 months. This is like 2-3 months prior your starting date of your course, as well as 3 to 4 months after you graduate. Okay, so make sure, like to calculate the IHS, I will say that you have to add approximately half of the amount. So 776 plus half of this, which will be your IHS. Upon completing this and finalizing all the payments, you have to upload the documents. So we upload all your documents required for your visa and book the next appointment to attend your visa biometrics. Well, on the visa sender, in most of the cases, is the VFS global sender. You will need to have your appointment letter where they're gonna scan it at the entrance, and that's how you're gonna enter the visa center. And then you just submit your application and wait for the decision. Now, in regards from the processing times, many students they ask me lately like how long it lasts. Well, we will say like the duration it can be is not a standard thing. Usually, it's like 2 to 3 weeks. However, depends the period. Like the closer we go to September, we will see delays from UKVI. So the normal standard services will be like 3 to 4 weeks later on. Depends how busy is the immigration office of UK. There are options though. There is the priority service, which is 5 working days for the decision. That cost £500 extra of your, on the top of your visa application and any other service that you choose. And the super priority, which is like 1 year, decision within 1 day, next day decision. So this cost £1,000 though. In addition to that, we will speak for some services that they provide on the visa sender. So there is a priority, super priority, which actually prioritize your application from other applications that they have currently in the visa sender, the VFS, as I mentioned before. They provide courier services. So upon decision, you will need to have you can request for a courier service, so they post it to you, your passport. In addition to that, you can choose email updates and SMS. So you will receive emails and SMS about the procedure and what updates there are under your application. And there is a premium lounge, which is on the visa sender. It gives you the option to, let's say, be on a quiet environment and have someone to support you throughout your application submission. After you complete that, after you submit your application, this is very important. UKVI, they might contact you and ask you for maybe an updated bank statement or for an interview. So I would recommend to you to check daily your inbox and spam emails. Sometimes UKVI emails, they end up to the spam folder of yours, and there is an issue because they usually ask you to reply back within 10 working days. So in case that they don't receive any reply from your side, automatically it's going to be a visa rejection for the officer. So pay big attention to your spam mails and email box daily after you submit your visa application. So some tips about the successful visa, and actually for me this is very important part, because you have to upload every document. First of all, every document that you submit to us has to be uploaded on your visa application. Always tell the truth. This is a question. This is something that I mentioned to many students of mine, because I have a brother in UK. Yes, that's perfect. That's not a problem at all. Declare your brother. I have family member in UK. Yes, please, let's declare your family member. If it's a close family member, for me, you must declare it in case that the officer find out something that's very bad. Seems like you're trying to hide the information, and that can cause a ban from UK from 5 to 10 years. Double check all your cash information as well as your passport details. Make sure that you meet the financial requirements, so the money is there for 28 consecutive days, your living expenses plus tuition fees minus any deposit that you have paid, and proofread everything before you submit it. Moving forward, I would like to tell you about a few things upon let's say post visa steps, as is mentioned on the site, I would say is like what you have to do upon your arrival to UK. So you got your visa, everything was successful, so you're about to make your trip. So before arriving to UK, as make sure that you create your e-visa account. We usually provide you some instruction about how to set up your e-visa account. It's very straightforward. It's a very simple procedure, and this is what you're gonna need later on upon arrival to UK. Anything you want to do, like opening a bank account, for example, you're gonna need to provide your number from your e-visa. So you're gonna need to share the share number, as they call it, and you're gonna need to share this for your landlord to rent a flat, for your registration to the university. They will ask you for your visa status at any time. So you do your e-visa, you provide them the share code, and that's all they need in order to check you out that you have a status in the UK as a student, and provide you the house or open your bank account or register to the university, as we say. So this is quite important. I've seen many people there, they miss that part. And okay, as well as I would say for me, upon arrival to UK, please, within the first week, let's say, go and register with the university. You must go physically and register with your university. Okay. Don't forget, okay, as I said before, all the students, they must enroll, otherwise their visa might be, let's say, not your visa, but your CAS may drop out, and that will cause you big troubles in the UK. You're gonna need to leave the country if your sponsor actually drop down the CAS. So it's quite an important thing upon arrival to UK. Next thing is to register with your university. Go physically and register. You're gonna need as your passport, and as I mentioned before, the e-visa status of yours. You're gonna need to have all the documents that you submit online to the university. So make sure you have your transcripts, your certificates, WAC or NECO, whatever it was for English requirement, or IELTS in some cases. Okay, so make sure all the documents that you submit to your university, to have them physically with you and resubmit them there. So packet documents in your luggage. Make sure you have your CAS letter as well. I know that in many cases I had a student requesting me the CAS. We might forgot it from our side, so feel free to contact us and we're gonna share it, obviously your CAS. And upon your arrival to UK, please know the conditions that they are applying for your visa in terms of working hours. Try to stay within the allowance that you have, and try to avoid causing any troubles in regards to your visa regulations. That can be, again, a major thing, and actually your visa can be, let's say, stopped. Okay, I will put it down like this, and that can cause you big troubles. So few things: pack everything in your luggage, make sure you have you're prepared, go do the registration to the university upon your arrival, prepare your e-visa status before you travel, and follow the regulations and the rules that they apply under your visa, please. So now we would like to have your point of view, your questions and queries that you have, guys. Feel free to ask us anything. We're here to support you and guide you throughout this process. So if it's something that we didn't mention, or is something that you really need to take it out to ask it, we are here for you. So now is your time. Please feel free to ask any queries or questions. Can someone who already has an admission officer in UK get assistance with funds to his studies in UK? Well, to to be fair with you, an admission officer that cannot help you in terms of the payments, if that's what you mean of your application. Um, um, well, we try like I know that many students they ask me, "Can you pay it on my behalf?" This is something that I say that unfortunately I cannot help you there. We might be able to provide you some contacts from people that can help you, but ourselves, under our contract, is not. We don't have this permission. Sorry, if that's what you mean for your question. So, for students who have gotten their visa, what documents do they need to apply for the dependents? All right. Well, guys, for the dependents, you're gonna need the marriage certificate. Please make sure that the names of both spouse and husband and wife, they are exactly the same in the same order as they appear in your passports. Otherwise, get an affidavit. So, marriage certificate is the main document for you, and make sure the names they are matching, first name, middle name, and last name, they're in the same order as on your passport and marriage certificate. Additional documents to your marriage certificate, I reckon to submit some photos as an evidence from your marriage, or from some holidays that you have taken with your partner. You're gonna need a TB test if it's applicable. If you're applying from a country that is required a TB test as the main applicant, it goes a requirement. It is a requirement for the spouse as well. You're gonna need to use the GWF number of the visa application of the main applicant, who is the sponsor, either your wife or the husband, in order to link, let's say, and bundle these two applications together. You're gonna need financial evidence. Now, the financial evidence can be either the main applicant's name, or let's say the dependent's name. If it's under the main applicant's name, then you're gonna need a financial permit letter. So let's say I'm applying, I'm the main applicant, I'm the student, and my wife wants to join me in that trip. Okay, I submit my own bank statement on my application, and my wife submits her own bank statement in her application. That's absolutely fine. But in case that my wife submits my bank statement for her application, I need to write down a financial letter that I, full name of yours, authorize my wife, full name of my wife, to use my bank account number XXX during the living in UK. So you acknowledge the officer with this financial permission that you are aware that your wife is gonna using your financial account for this trip. And last and not least, if I don't, so you're gonna need TB test, as I said, financial evidence, marriage certificate, and I don't
Let
think I
me
forgot.
let me add, Danis, if a student would provide more evidence, that would be more beneficial for them if they could provide their personal chats, or if they have some transfers in their personal, for in their wife's bank account, for example, independent. So as much evidence as they can provide, it would be beneficial for them. Those are applying with their dependents.
Mhm. So yeah, I think we covered your question, Joy.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So, guys, please put your concerns in your chat box. So, we'll be addressing all your concerns regarding foreign studies.
What will you advise students applying with dependent together or applying with dependent separately? This is something that is up to you guys. I will mention that with one or the other. Oh, just that's a very good question actually, because it reminds me something that I might
Yeah.
miss on the previous one. Um, uh, if you are applying separately, you need to provide the bank statement. If you're applying your own, if you provide just your own bank statement, make sure you put a copy of your husband's, because they would like to see that you didn't transfer in between you two the money. That's quite important. It happened in the past. And so my advice, this is up to you guys. Like, it doesn't matter if you're applying on the same time or you're applying separately. Just make
But
sure.
yeah, but as per study now, we would recommend that student must apply. Main applicant should apply first, got their visa, and then after would recommend that if student applying their dependent afterwards. You can see that if a student is applying, meanwhile, they need to provide bank statement of living expenses of their own, and plus additionally they up to their dependents as well. Meanwhile, student need to bear the expenses of insurance and visa fee for him or herself and for their dependents. So it's a huge expense initially. So it's quite recommended from study now that you should apply your visa first, the main applicant. Afterwards, you should following your dependents.
Yes,
Next,
please.
please. Next questions, if you can have.
UKIs and method that they need further explanation where they apply for study. Why do UKVI, you means, send
Yeah.
message that they need further explanation when one apply for study visa? Well, when you're applying for your visa, UKVI has all the rights throughout the decision procedure to request for an updated bank statement, for example, or for additional documents. Okay, so that's why we say, like, always keep an eye on your inbox and spam mail in case that you receive an email from UKVI. They have all the rights to do. There is no why there. You're applying to go to enter in UK. This is the officer, the governmental officer, let's say, that is taking the decision for an approval or not. So he has all the rights to ask you for additional documents if it's needed.
It's, I would like to add, like, it's dependent on the student case to case basis. Like, if UKVI is unable to decide on the basis of your evidence you have already been provided, so they may ask you to provide a reference or further evidences from your academics or anywhere. So you need to provide or comply with the UKVI requirements, and it's mandatory to provide within 10 working days so that they can proceed to give you a decision on your visa application.
Correct.
Next, please.
What can you advise about school accommodation? Should be sorted out before traveling to UK? Well, I had this question from many students. I will tell you, like, it's it doesn't matter. I usually say, like, get first your visa and then pay the deposit for your accommodation. But if you have booked your accommodation prior, you're applying for your visa. That's a good thing as well, because you're gonna lose, let's say, the stress of last minute trying to find a property around the university. In both cases, there are the advantages and disadvantages. So I would say, like, for example, advantage in case that you pay early is the fact that you pay for your accommodation, you confirm your accommodation prior, you got your visa. It's good because you're not gonna escape for the stress of lastminute.com. However, a disadvantage can be in case of your visa rejection, let's say. Okay, so this is something up to you. Personal opinion is good to have your accommodation prior because you're gonna get your visa for sure. Okay, but many students that they ask me, if UKVI contact me, what should I say? Well, it's very easy. I haven't confirmed my accommodation yet. I'm waiting first my visa decision to come out, and then I'm gonna book. I'm gonna proceed with the payment of the deposit for an accommodation. I looked throughout certain websites such as Zoopla, Rightmove, etc., etc. So, and you can say, like, I've seen a couple of apartment, studios, rooms, whatever it is, within a walking distance to a university. So that's the best case scenario, and the officer will be fine with that answer as well. Will not they don't need to have a confirmed accommodation on your visa appointment.
But the same way, I would like to add, like student must should plan ahead of time. But if recommended, if the student can, if they want to live in the university accommodation, then obviously it should be a first come first serve basis. So students should try sending an email to the university. Either if they are looking around a private accommodation, so they should be leave the stress behind and start locating before traveling to the UK that which accommodation is available. So you must have get an idea about how much expenses which you already have in your bank account. So how you gonna utilize while being in the UK. So you must be aware of the traveling expenses or how you will be traveling to university, how much time will be consuming and your budgeting, and about your food availability around the accommodation. So it's always advisable you should start locating your accommodation, but it's not required by the UKVI that you must have booked or made any payment while you're applying for visa. But you have must be aware of how where you're going to live and what would be the expenses there.
Exactly. So it's not a requirement from UKVI,
Yeah,
but our advice will be like to avoid the stress of last minute, and the
yeah.
closer you go to September, the less available, let's say, accommodation will
Yeah,
be.
so it's
So
quite difficult for student at that time to locate a accommodation near about the university because everyone who start locating they must have booked their accommodations or either they have paid to the landlords or private accommodation providers. So it's always is advisable to start looking ahead of time.
correct.
Next, please.
Middlesex I already have admission in Middlesex University, but not funding. How do I get access to loan of any financial assistance? Well, this is something that you have to look within your country. If there is any, you can get student loan from your bank. So you come in contact with your where are you banking, and they ask them if they have any, let's say, loan schemes for students. In most of the cases they have, obviously make sure you look at the regulations behind that loan, okay, and how much you will need to pay them, like the installments, etc. In addition to that, there are some organizations like you can find them, but um, in the past that I've tried myself when I was about to study back in time, okay, I would tell you that the requirements that they asked me was pretty much things that I couldn't provide to them, and so it's good to give it a go. You can find like Marshall or other scholarships that there are outside there. However, I would reckon first of all to be your degree to be quite, let's say, your previous certificates to be, let's say, first class or something like that, because that's one of the requirement. And in addition to that, you can talk to them. However, we we as a company we don't provide any service such as this. So first thing I would say, go to your bank, speak with your bank if they provide student loans. Okay, many banks, I will not say all of them, but most of the banks they do provide the services such as this. Can I reach you out directly? Your one visa you have been seeking means to communicate you.
So, what's your name? I must have sent you an email, so my contact number is mentioned there, or might I have dropped you a text right after sending you email, so you can reach me there.
How long it takes for a cast to be issued? Well, I would say from the time that you will submit all your documents to the university and you get the unconditional offer, I would say usually like 1 to 2 weeks to have the cast issuance, and this is what you're gonna need in order to apply for your visa.
But students should be aware of that there is a long queue. Those are waiting for their CAS letters, so it could be it not an hard and fast rule. You're gonna get it soon, but you have to wait patiently.
Can you tell me exactly how and what my work evidence should include? Yes, of course. No, this is a very good actually thing because
Yeah.
I say that to so many students of mine. All right, guys, we're gonna need to have for employment evidence. You're gonna need to have the contracts, offer letters, contracts is the same thing, as well as the reference letter from your previous employers from your graduation day up to date. So the contract always is on a headed document. It always has the signatures. It has like the let's say the regulations for the contract that you're applying, how many hours you're gonna work, which days you're gonna work. So it's 99% of the time is absolutely fine. But the reference, please, it must be on a headed document. It must have the dates, is supporting document to your contract, and mention the dates, the starting date and the finishing date with that for that company. So we need to prove to the officer that there is no gap. So I graduate, let's say 2023, okay, and then change 2 works in between. So I have the contract of employment that says that I started working, let's say, on 15th of January 2023. Yeah. So with the reference letter, you will acknowledge the officer when did you finish from that employment and you jump to the next one. So date is very important. If you're still working there from that date till date, then they must include correspondent information such as the guy who signs up. This is very important, this part. Why? The guy who signed up the reference for you has to have an email and a phone number. UKVI, they usually contact them by email. So we don't want the email to end up on an info, generic email, company's email that you will never, no one ever replied back. Don't forget, they will send you an email, and if you don't reply back within 10 working days, your application will be rejected. So that's why we always say to have the information from the correspondent, the guy who write you down the reference for you. And then stamp and signatures at the very end, like the signature of the guy who signed up the reference for you, and the stamp and company stamp that actually prove them and verify the validity of that document.
And additionally, they must include the date when you are getting this reference letter. A part of this, you must mention that what you've been doing in that job. So, right after, as you have mentioned, Urdan, is that students are providing the reference letter. So, for example, they started their job in 2019 and they left that job in 2023. So, there should be a period mentioned on your reference letter. Who is providing this reference? They must have a contact details as you have mentioned, and what you've been doing there, and the date is very important. You must mention when you are getting this reference letter and the duration of your job over there. So,
Yeah.
and last but not least, that should be a verifiable. So if your referee getting an email or contact from UKVI, they are comply by to reply to the UKVI that your evidence is genuine and verifiable.
So to sum up, easy and peasy. Okay, sorry
Yeah.
about that. To
Yeah.
sum up, so heady document,
Yeah.
signatures at the bottom, stamp and signature at the bottom, from to the days that you work, from that date till that date. Okay, obviously to be the document will have the address. Okay, and everything of the is in a headed document, as we said. So includes information about the company, and they must mention the position that you were holding there, and they must mention like contact details, please. Try to get the personalized email of the guy who's writing the reference, either the company's email, or in some cases they're using their own personal email. This is very important that we know that someone will respond in case of UKVI try to contact you.
And yeah, or then is I got one more point in back my head, like if student got an gap between their employment, so they can justify it by providing a support letter. by writing the statement like I've been doing the job, for example, in previous duration at some place, but during this period there was a COVID or someone else, or I was sick, or any cause it could be. So they can provide a support letter to covering the gap in between finding another job. So you can cover that period by providing your support letter and mentioning all the scenario, what where you will be doing you was doing your job previously, then got stuck in finding another job, and later I started the new job, which is I have already provided the reference or support letter for that.
But
Thank
please
you.
make sure that if you
Yeah.
say, like, for example, I was hospitalized, they will ask you additional documents to prove that.
Yeah, it depends on how you are going. Are you lying or you are genuinely providing your documents, and that should be dated and signed by you. Thank you. Next.
The address of on my proof of funds account is different from the one I use for school visa application. Could be that's not a problem at all. There was another student asking me about the TB test, and both of these documents they're checking different thing. The bank statement they will not check your address. The address that you are living is the one that you mention on your visa application. When you open this account, you might have registered with a different address because you were renting in a different house before, and you haven't updated the information to the bank. That's not a problem. The same
Yeah.
can happen with your TB test. Like, I had this question from another student, like, oh, my TB test has different address from the one I have. This is absolutely fine. The TB test is to check if you have any symptoms of tuberculosis, and it's nothing to do with your address there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The important thing is to match the names. So the bank statement that you submit with your passport to match exactly the name. Otherwise, you're gonna need an affidavit, okay, or the TB test that you provide to match the name and the date of birth of yours.
Yeah. Definitely.
Can I request my CAS letter from my counselor? Well, we are trying not to provide the CASs. I will be straight with you. I will tell you the truth. In the past, students that they got the CASs, they applied for their visas, and we want you to get the visa. Okay, if you apply by yourself, trust me, any mistake can cause you a visa rejection. We have quite good experience. We can provide you the cash after the submission of the visa, no problem at all. But throughout the period, like, it's better we do it to protect you. To It's
Yeah.
nothing. Don't take it personal. We are doing that to protect you. We don't want you to go and do mistakes. Okay, we are taking over of your visa application procedure. So for that reason, we keep the cash with us, and then upon the submission of the application, yes, please, here is your cash, here is everything. I have no problem to share it, and we do that for your own good. You have to understand this. It happened to
Yeah.
me past students that were asking me, where is my CAS? Why I don't have my CAS? It's my right to have. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm not saying no. But for your own good, to protect you, we don't share the information. We don't want someone, my biggest enemy is my friend told me. He done his visa before. That's my worst enemy ever. Okay? Like, please leave it to expertise and
Yeah.
not to someone that done one application successfully in his life. That's very.
Yeah. Yeah, Urdanis, I would get this opportunity to explain to the student that please trust us as you trusted us for your getting your admission. Obviously, we are here to support you, to guide you, to prepare you, and to file your visa by our own. You obviously definitely gonna get your CAS letter, but why you are in rush to just provide you? So we know most of the students just go ahead and start filing their visa application, and they mess up with either making some mistake or avoiding to mention either they are having a previous visa refusals, or sometimes people start hiding their family in UK. Why UK? We do not have any issue with your family if they are already in UK. You are a genuine student and coming to the UK for studies, so you are providing every evidence and providing the statement they require. Have you paid to the university as well? So please, I would suggest do not rush. Trust us, we will file your visa in a due time and you will be getting that. And do not start comparing with if somebody else has got their visa earlier. You will definitely got your in due time. But obviously, you need to wait at least 15 working days, 3 weeks. So be patient during this process, I would suggest. Thank you.
Yorkshire Jones said my cast is ready, but my visa officer hasn't given to me. It's
It's
not
the
about
same question. Yeah. Yeah.
goodwill, goodwill. I'm telling you, your visa officer is not doing that because he
Yeah.
doesn't like you or something like that, or he or she
Yeah.
doesn't like you. It's to protect you. They don't want, like, some people, they applied in the past for a couple of visas in their life and they've been successful. Okay, good. UKVI, and especially after Brexit, they have their own rules. They change a
Yeah.
bit the requirements and they've been quite strict. And as I'm reading, they're
Yeah.
about to make it even harder. So, like, to give, if I give you the cash, you can actually go and start your visa application.
Yeah.
And then if you submit it, I can't help you anymore. The only I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you is like, okay, provide me a letter from your side, signed up, that says that you don't want to use my service. And good luck. That's all I can tell you there. Trust me, we want to help you out. So that's why we don't share the cases to avoid problems. People in the past, they use them. You might don't, okay, but I don't know you, and I would like to follow the procedure as our policies and to have a successful visa. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. They don't do it
Yeah.
because they don't like you or they don't want to share
Yeah.
the country with you. They do it to protect you. Keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. Always.
Can I enter 1 month before this day? If not,
No.
I'll next. All right. Your visa, the vignette is usually a 3 months visa vignette that you will receive on your passport. Okay. You cannot enter the UK prior that visa. If you would like to enter before that date, it will be, I will recommend to go back on the visa center. Okay. It happened with one of my applicants. He received his visa. However, the date was he wanted to go a bit earlier. So my recommendation was to go speak with the visa sender. They bring them in contact with the UKVI and they renew his visa vignette. Actually, he succeeded. He sent me recently his vignette and he told me, okay, I changed the date. That's all you can do, but you have to try hard there. When you're gonna go on the visa center, please ask to speak with a manager on the security outside. Ask to speak with a manager and explain themselves that you would like to. I would like to go before that day to UK. If it's possible to change that. They're gonna bring you in contact with UKVI, and you're gonna get a decision on that. My application has
Good.
not been approved yet. It's been 9 working days now. People are getting there within 3 working days. All right. Well, I will tell
So,
you something,
yeah.
Emmanuel. Uh, um, um, well, you must be my student as well. We had a call just before. Emmanuel,
So,
it's 2 to 3 weeks. That's the procedure. They might end up earlier. Depends. Um, Like, think about the officer is like me and you. Is a human being behind their team. Okay, they might be super busy and they have delays. They might not be busy and they take the decision easier. So it depends, like how many applications they receive last week, let's say. Okay, so yes, in some cases you can see within like a week, 10 days, you get your visa. Not even 6, 7 working days, but as per UKVI, and we have to stick with that. Okay, it's like 3 to 4 weeks. Okay,
and simply you cannot raise a complaint like I'm not getting my visa within the day, as my friend got visa within 3 days. So as we are being discussing this matter, you at least need to wait 3 weeks, at least, which is 15 working days. Oh, very long question.
I
Uh,
refused an
yeah.
American visa twice years
Oh,
back. In the application, I only stated the UK refusal, which happened to be. So please, could this be an issue? Because I did my biometrics last week. Okay, that's something not good. Well, okay, I'll tell you. I had a student in the past, like a few years before, that she didn't declare a previous refusal, and she got her visa. Okay, don't forget that the officer is a human being. Okay, maybe they miss that part. Uh, However, we hardly recommend to declare all your previous refusal. A refusal does not make you look bad, okay, on your visa application. A visa refusal, when you declare it, every application goes as an individual merit. Like any application you're doing to any country, they will not consider previous refusals. You might get, let's say, I will say this, like to understand, like you might get a visa refusal to UK for a tourist visa. You apply today and you got refused within a week. Then the upcoming week you apply again and you change that. Then you add the documents on your refusal letter. Your visa will be approved. Like so simple. Like you done a mistake. Every application goes as an individual merit. And I always recommend to say the truth, as I said before, on your application, and always mention previous rejections, regardless. A previous rejection will not judge this application or prejudge, let's say, this application.
Urdanis, I would like to add a comment for this student. For example, if they had already hired and they have not provided this information to their visa officer, so there could be a cause to be worried for. For example, if there was a ban or they have used, or anybody who have used a fraudulent document, then there should be an issue, obviously. So if you do not have that kind of ban or refusal causing the fraudulent document, then please do not hide your information, because visa officers always ask you to provide the all details, either you are having any refusal, either visit visa or some else. We need to mention all the details on UKVI, because it depends, either you are intentionally hiding your refusals or it would be a mistake. So it might ended up UKVI may ask you for an interview, and that would really complex the situation even worse. So it's always advisable to mention all the details. So let the UKVI to work on your case, and they will provide you a decision in due diligence.
Hmm.
Any more questions if you have?
Any more questions?
I don't think so.
Well, I think our time is going out as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we
Well,
have answered a very, very informative session. It was, if those students who have attended, we really appreciate that their concern to studying abroad and understanding the procedure involved, and what are the precautions they should take care while getting to enroll with, and getting concerned with, if visa officers asking any information or counselor, they shouldn't hide and take your all the documents, and all the documents they are providing to the student should be verifiable.
we already answered this question. It usually takes like
Yeah,
2 to 3 weeks
yeah.
to issue the CAS after you receive your unconditional offer. Yes, I will say that keep your proof of funds like obviously don't remove your money, because this is money you're gonna need it for your expenses. Okay. And as I mentioned before, UKVI has the right to ask you throughout the decision procedure at any time, okay, to provide an updated bank statement, for example. So it's good to have your proof of funds, to keep them on the like to keep it over the required amount till you receive your visa. Any more question? Oh, that's something irrelevant with a visa, though. I would say you can speak with your counselor; they will advise you. It's not like every university; they have their own procedures for that.
Yeah.
So it's not a day. It's not a fixed day that I can tell you from that day you can start applying. So usually, you can even apply now if you want for January intake in most of the cases, but definitely you will receive your cash something like 3 months before the starting date of your course.
Yeah. And it always mentioned on the university in which they are going to apply. Some universities opened up their January intake as well, and some may be in August or September. It depends on the university internal policy when they are start taking applications for January intake.
And I would say on this as well that um, it's not just the university that might differ; it's the course itself that might differ from course
Yeah.
to course. Like you can see a course that they are open for January, let's say, intake, and you can apply. However, some others they haven't even announced it yet. Okay, so it's not a fixed day that we can say on that. Can a former visa refusal affect this
Presence visa application.
business visa? No, no, no. We just mentioned like any visa application goes as an individual merit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can apply now today to UK and my visa will be refused. Then a week later, after I receive my refusal, I apply again and my visa is approved. Why? Because they were telling me like my financial was not. I was going for a tourist visa and I submit a savings account, and they want to see the current account where I'm receiving my money. So they just.
Obviously, Danis, yeah. If the circumstances gonna change, so why it gonna affect your next visa application? So you might have previously missed your additional document, or might you have not provided the enough finances in your previous application. So your as Danis just have explained that your new visa application is an independent case, so it will be just upon the documents being provided by you.
Mhm. Thank
Yeah,
you guys for everything. Thank you for today.
yeah. Thank you.
When is our next section? It's next Friday, right?
Yeah, most probably. Yeah,
Okay. So, guys, we're gonna see you next Friday.
yeah, and
Uh,
I would like, yeah, yeah. Please continue.
So feel free, like you can ask all the questions to your personal compliance officer that you have, or um, uh, like me. You can always contact me. I have no problem. Okay.
Yeah, 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 and all the contact details are available on our social media as well. And I would like to say, please remember, don't study later, study now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have a
you so
lovely.
much.
Don't study later!
Oh wow, thank you. Like I really didn't expect this. I at all.
When we started, I really don't know why I was here. I came to this program and I've gotten a lot of information, like how easy it is to register with Study Now. Like it's easy. You don't even need to stress. Just tell them why and what you want to do, what school you want to go to and everything. And they'll just help you out, consult you, put you through as an aspirant. student of YSJ. Yeah, I'm happy to say I started my applications already. Just waiting for my transcription to be processed and I can submit my application.
I have known Study Now for about 4 to 5 years, and I've worked with them several collaborations. And this year we decided to host a Study Now event, a Study Now fair.
I heard about this event when Study Now agents called me and said they're having the fair today. I would say the event today was beyond my expectation, and the way it was organized, I feel like I've learned more than before I was here today.
The highlight of the program was when we got to the scholarship part. I saw a few people almost crying. I think I saw someone crying.
I was actually kind of surprised because it's been a while I've been applying for scholarships and I've never actually been shortlisted. So I was very surprised, very happy. I told my mom and sister about it. Up until today, I was really excited when I heard my names.
I basically applied then because it was one of my dreams to study in the UK. And today when I was called to the podium, my mind skipped a bit, I will not lie to you. Thank you to Study Now for they've helped me get a step closer to achieving my dreams.
In the Study Now fair, we gave 3 people scholarships of almost, £30,000, which is not an easy feat to do. And it's the first of its kind. We're doing it. Nobody's done this before in Nigeria. We're doing it, and we're going to keep doing it every year. I'm so happy for those who benefited from this.
This is really amazing. It's an amazing thing they are doing out there, and I'm sure that the people they picked would definitely make them proud.
Literally giving an opportunity to change someone's life is what I'm going to be particularly grateful to Study Now for.
One thing, I'm glad I came here today, and to everyone who is or might be looking to say, okay, I want to study abroad, but I don't even have the money. What I would say is you take a step forward, start your application first. You never can tell. Anybody can just come and be like, oh, there's a scholarship somewhere. You can apply for this loan care. One of the directors already mentioned a loan or a partnership with a loan company for students who are willing to go through Study Now to study at universities, either UK or other universities. If you don't start, if you don't make researches, how do you get to know about them? So the idea is you start and see how things are going to roll up for you.
I think I'm going to do that, and I've been super pumped about applying to study in the UK. So
first of all, I want to give the flowers to the entire Study Now team, especially from those who organized everything, sleepless nights. On behalf of Study Now, the entire team would like to say a very big
thank you to everyone who made it possible to the Study Now fair in collaboration with York St. John University.
Thank you for believing in us, and we keep on looking forward to having you and to making your wishes and dreams come true.